Hey everyone. I know some of you are interested in hearing what the Indonesian language sounds like because most people outside Indonesia probably haven't ever heard it. I know I hadn't heard it until I researched specifically after I knew I was going to come here. So I am going to read something that I wrote for class. It's a little story about when we went to the beach last weekend. Luckily, it's already been corrected by my by my teacher, and still the content is pretty simple, so I hope any people who speak Indonesian and watch this don't cringe too much. But this is what Indonesian sounds like when it's coming out of my mouth. Alright, here we go. Santai di pantai. Kemarin saya bangun sangat pagi sebelum azan mulai. Ibu saya sudah bangun jam 3:30 supaya bisa memasak untuk saya. Saya makan pagi sedikit terlalu siang dan berangkat jam 5:10. Teman-teman sudah di rumah Jennifer ketika saya sampai di sana. Tidak ada masalah karena sopir juga terlambat. Ada 7 orang dan banyak tas di dalam mobil, jadi perjalanan ke Pulau Sempu tidak nyaman. Sebelum pergi ke Pulau Sempu, semua relawan bertemu di UMM supaya kami bisa berangkat bersama. Ketika kami sampai di pantai, hujan turun. Acara yang sudah dibuat harus diubah. Di 3 grup, kami menyeberang terusan ke pulau. Saya anggota terakhir grup, jadi saya menunggu lama sebelum bisa naik perahu. Akhirnya, saya sampai di pantai jam 10:30. Ada banyak relawan yang sudah bermain dengan frisbee atau berenang. Kami senang-senang selama 2,5 jam. Lalu beberapa relawan mau jalan-jalan dari satu pantai ke satu pantai lain. Teman kami, Maksum, bilang bahwa jalan itu sangat cantik. Kira-kira 15 relawan mencoba menyeberang pulau lewat hutan, tetapi tidak mungkin dilakukan. Karena hujan turun selama 2 jam tadi pagi, ada banyak lumpur yang dalam sekali. Kadang-kadang ada lumpur sampai di atas lutut saya. Kemudian kami menjadi kotor dan berkeringat. Kami kembali ke pantai dan makan siang sambil menunggu perahu yang akan menjemput kami. Sesudah dijemput, ada waktu untuk mandi dan makan. Jam 3 sore kami pulang. Di jalan ke desa ada hujan lagi. Kami lewat jalan yang tidak rata dan punya banyak belokan, sehingga Jen menjadi sakit. Di akhir hari, saya kotor, capek, pegal, dan masih sakit flu. Saya tidak bisa santai, tetapi saya senang. So a rough translation of that. Let's see, yesterday I woke up very early before the Adzan. My host mom woke up at 3:30 in order to be able to cook for me. I ate breakfast a little bit late and I left my house at 5:10. My friends were already at Jennifer's house when I arrived, but it wasn't a problem because the driver who was going to take us was already late. There were 7 people and a lot of bags inside the car. So the ride to Pulau Sempu, or Sempu Island, was not comfortable. But before leaving for the island, all the volunteers met at UMM, University Muhammadiyah Malang, in order, for us to form a caravan and leave together. When we arrived at the beach, it was raining. So we had to change the plans that we'd already made. In 3 groups, we crossed the channel to the island, but I was part of the 3rd group, so I had to wait a long time before being able to get on the boat. But finally, I arrived at the beach at 10:30. There were already a lot of volunteers playing frisbee or swimming. So after getting there, we were having fun for around 2.5 hours, and then some volunteers decided they wanted to hike from one beach to another beach. I was one of them. Our friend Maksum said that was a very beautiful trail. So approximately 15 volunteers tried to cross the island through the forest, but it was not possible. Because it had rained for 2 hours in the morning, there was a ton of mud that was really deep. Sometimes there was mud, above my knee. So we got dirty and we got sweaty pretty soon. We returned to the beach and had some lunch while waiting for the boat to pick us up again. After getting picked up, there was some time for a shower and to eat again. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we started returning. On the way back to my village, there was more rain. We took a road that was very bumpy, a rough road, and it had a lot of curves. So Jen got a little bit sick. Jen became kind of sick. And at the end of the day, I was dirty, tired, sore, and still kind of sick with the flu. I wasn't able to relax, and I was still pretty happy. The name of the story is Santai di Pantai, which is a little rhyme, but it means relaxing at the beach. That's the content of the story. It's very simple language, and I'm not actually that fluent enough to speak like that all the time. I can't think that fast in Indonesian, but it is something that did come out of my brain, so I feel alright claiming it as my own. So a little more information on the sound of Indonesian. You might have heard and thought I repeated myself a couple times. I said the same word twice in a row, and that's because I did. In Indonesian, oftentimes if you say the same word, if you double up the word, it changes the meaning. So for example, if I say senang, that means happy, but if I say senang, that means to have fun. If I say jalan, that means to walk, or it means road. But if I say jalan, that means to go for a stroll. Likewise, a lot of words, to pluralize them, you say them twice. So if I say teman, that means friend, and if I say teman-teman, that means friends. If I say murid, that means student, and if I say murid, that means students. But most words are both singular and plural, and you have to tell which one they are just from the context. It's usually pretty obvious. Also, you probably heard this, a lot of vowel sounds, a lot of syllables. Indonesians have trouble putting a lot of consonants together, like smashing consonants, like P followed by an L or a T and an S next to each other, or they always want to like put a vowel sound in between. So in fact, there are some words which are what would you say, homophonic with English, or at least they're very similar, like the word for glass. Like we say glass and they say gelas. We say class and they say kelas. They put a little extra vowel syllable in there, and sometimes when they're trying to say English words, it's funny, they'll insert a little kind of an E sound, or their E sound, where there shouldn't be one, because consonant sounds are like always separated by vowels here, almost invariably. So I find that interesting. I don't know, kind of a nerd. It does make for longer words that seem more intimidating. And in fact, there are almost no words here that have only one syllable. There are a couple, but I can't even tell you one because they just don't like them. Words here like almost have to have 2 syllables or more. It's the rules. Oh yeah, there's one. D. D means like in, at, on. It's sort of a catch-all preposition. So yeah, that's I guess a bit about the language. Of course, that's Bahasa Indonesia, which is the national language, and everyone has to learn it and speak it in school. But at home, everyone, at least where I am, everyone speaks Javanese, and whatever form of Javanese that they that their dialect is. There's very few people, I'm not sure there are any, who speak Indonesian as their first language and the language of the home. So, in fact, if you were to be listening in on a conversation inside my house, it would probably not sound quite like that. But, you know, later, when I'm better at Indonesian, I'll try to make a video of me actually just talking in Indonesian, or maybe I'll include someone who is a native speaker and you can hear how that sounds. It's pretty cool. It's not that hard. It sounds pretty, I guess it sounds exotic. Probably sounds more exotic to you than to me now that I've been listening to it for 5 weeks. But I feel pretty good about the progress. Gonna be getting a lot better over the next 2 years. Be totally fluent, hopefully. That's what the aim is. Anyway, I'm quite tired now. It's way past my bedtime yet again, and I'll try to post this video tomorrow. Today is Thursday, the 12th of May. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll try to make another video soon. Bye.